So back on November 25th, when the Warriors hosted the Nets, they blew their biggest lead of the season, an 18-point lead, with Dennis Schroeder at 17 in the fourth quarter. Tonight, the Brooklyn Nets blow their biggest lead of the season, blowing a 22-point lead to the Golden State Warriors as they hang on here, 121-119, and they complete a 4-1 road trip, and they head back west for a 7-game homestand, feeling good about themselves. In the sixth spot here as we welcome everybody to Toyota Warriors post-game live with the Hall of Famer Chris Whelan, the pride of Yale, Zena Cada. I am Bonte Hill, 35-15 after the first quarter. The Nets were rolling, and then the Warriors turned it around, and Stephen Curry, he's a bad, bad man with 40 points tonight, 32 of 62 from the three-point line during this 5-game road trip. And Steph, good evening to you. A heck of a road trip for yourself. All those fans cheering you on. How are you feeling right now with the team playing so well, 7 games over 500? Do you feel like you guys are playing your best ball right now?
I guess yes, but there's still another level. We're never going to get too ahead of ourselves. Like, each game is a one-game playoff type vibe where you just got to figure out a way to win. We are developing an identity and an understanding of how to win, but we can still play better. Obviously, to have the resilience to come back from down 20 in first, 6 minutes shows a lot about the belief that we have. Just got to keep doing it.
Speaking of resilience, Steph, talk us through what that conversation was like in the huddle after that first quarter. How did you guys get yourself back on the same page to be able to flip this game to a win?
Just being honest with yourself that we were playing horrible. You got to be accountable, each and every one of us. We weren't playing hard. We weren't playing physical. I think this is the first time I've ever gotten an offensive foul to show a little bit of fire to get us going. So, you know, whatever it took to kind of shock the system a little bit. And then that's that unit that finished the end of the first and beginning of the second, you know, got us back into it where we had a chance. And then, you know, we kind of all took it from there.
Steph, Brooklyn Nets make 4 more field goals than you and 3 more three-point shots. But you guys make 29 free throws. You and Jimmy Butler combined for 19 for 19. Talk about the difference with Jimmy Butler and also the way you guys have been getting to the free throw line and hitting such a high percentage.
Yeah, it's just been a nice change of speed. We had a couple of tough possessions, especially against an athletic, physical, switching everything team like Brooklyn was tonight. He bailed us out. Jimmy bailed us out a couple of possessions where he got to the line, a couple of and-ones. And then that allows you to get into the bonus. So if there's any foul, you get into the line. It's not like you're foul baiting. You're just playing good basketball and drawing contact. And Jimmy does a great job of that. It puts all of us in a great position to, you know, have good possessions. Yes, sir, G. And control the tempo even if we're not making shots.
You know, Steph, this road trip has been fascinating to watch all the fans with the 30 jerseys, whether it's Orlando, Charlotte, your hometown, Madison Square Garden Tuesday night. And then again, we saw all the Steph jerseys, but the biggest fan of them all, Grandma Kitty, was in the building as you promised her a seat to the game tonight. Could you discuss what it was like meeting Grandma Kitty for the first time?
Oh, it was special. She, I've never had somebody clap every time I made a shot in warm-ups. So that was cool to have her on the baseline. It got my energy going. And, you know, thankfully we got a win for her. She wants to show me her notebook that she brought to the game. So I can't wait to see that. But that's Dub Nation at its finest right there.
Yeah, that notebook can say 40 points for you tonight, 12 of 20 from the floor, 7 of 13 from the three-point line. Heck of a trip for you and the team. We'll see you Saturday night when you guys come back home for 7 games and take on the business. Steph, safe travels.
No, I appreciate y'all.
Time, Stephen Curry.
Thank you.
Here on Toyota Warriors post-game live. And, 32 of 62 from the three-point line. He had the 56-point game. We saw what he did at the Garden. He brought the night out tonight with a 40-burger Zena. What a road trip. Nobody's talking about the bilateral knee tendinitis. He looks refreshed.
Doesn't it feel like we were thinking about, is this it for Stephen Curry? Is this all that's going to happen with this injury, having to burden this team on his back? Now you're looking at him in this road trip, averaging 33 points. That's not counting tonight's. 40 points from the line with 20 shots. The efficiency with which he plays and the way that he takes this team on his back when they need a boost, it's just amazing. It's really amazing.
What I've noticed with Steph and the entire team, Bonte and Zena, they don't feel stressed to have to make a certain number of threes. Now, it's still a huge weapon for them.
Absolutely.
But since Jimmy Butler has arrived, they're playing old-fashioned inside-out basketball. And with Jimmy Butler, inside means a bucket, drawing fouls, or creating open shots for his teammates. In turn, the free throw has been a huge weapon, but you know that three-point shot's coming. So tonight, the Nets make 4 more field goals, 3 more threes, but they shoot 29 of 32 from the free throw line for 90%. Steph and Jimmy combined 19 for 19. And that's where, when you're in a close game, you have total control because you have 2 incredible closers, one on the perimeter and one inside. And it's really tough to guard now that you have Jimmy Butler in that mid-post. The defense has to honor him. At some point, someone's going to free up. And Jimmy Butler, one of his great attributes is his passing. Yep. He's a really good passer.
No, he sets it up well, but the Warriors were Charlie got to the first quarter by 20. They got off to an atrocious start, down 27-5 midway through the first quarter. Steph mentioned he picked up an offensive foul. It was haywire. They shoot just 31.8% from the floor, 14 from 3, 1 of 7 overall from beyond the yard, the 6 turnovers, and Brooklyn was hitting everything. And it was like, what is going on with the Dubs? Too much late nights in New York City? What's going on at Barclays Center?
Maybe enjoying New York a little bit too much, but Steph said it. They were not responsive to the physicality that the Brooklyn Nets came out to play with. And then you just saw them making careless turnovers, not being able to take care of the ball, not paying attention to detail. And also there was no point of attack defense to start the game. The Nets were finding lanes to the basket, but then things changed in the second quarter. You went to the bench. The Warriors got picked up by Quentin Post, Pat Spencer, Guy Santos. Everyone came with the energy of, we need to play better. We need to play more locked in. And you saw the bench, the reserves come in and change the pace of the game.
Warriors plus 15, 40-25. Brooklyn only 6 rebounds in that quarter. That was a 40-point quarter of the season for the Dubs.
And look at that. Look at that. At the end of the half there, Steph just launches one up. I think we all felt like that's game over pretty much.
Yeah, he's
similar to Orlando.
Right.
We hit that half-court shot and took that into the third quarter. But so after the first quarter, they're actually getting dominated. But to me, and I've been in those situations as a player and a coach. The only one more uncomfortable than Steve Kerr was Jordy Fernandez. Because he said, can we actually keep this up?
Is this sustainable?
All those numbers going to come back to what we've been doing all season. So those early leads, we all know they disappear. But the Warriors jumped on it right away in the second quarter, 40-25, as you mentioned, Bonte. And then pretty much the second half controlled the game by getting to the free throw line. They did a much better job taking care of the basketball, not giving them extra possessions. But you got to give the Nets, look, they shot 50% from the field. They had a really good shooting night. They couldn't sustain what they need to do to get the win.
Yeah, Brooklyn shot 61% in that first quarter, scoring 35 points, 45.5% from the three-point line. But the fourth quarter where the Warriors pull away. And remember, when the Warriors trail after 3, they were 1-22 entering this game tonight. And we all think about that stat all the time. But they were able to win their second game. We were trailing after 3 quarters with a nice move right there by QP. I know you love the big man's moves down there to block.
I love his swagger, too. I love the way that he's calling for the ball. I love the way that even in this move right here, look at Steph running away with the pump, fist pump. Being able to have a consistent big that can finish is huge in Quentin Post. But overall, in that fourth quarter, you saw the resiliency. It got to be a sludge fest, Bonte and Chris. It was hard to close this game because Brooklyn still wanted it, and it was just tough last game on a road trip, but the Warriors were able to close it out. One, because of that man right there, Jimmy Butler, with his passing ability, his ability to get to the line. And again, he was also coaching the Warriors out on the floor. You saw them getting better as time went on.
No doubt. The Warriors outscored the Nets 15-6 when Stephen Curry went to the bench. And as Zena mentioned, the fingerprints of Jimmy Butler was all over this game, especially early in the fourth quarter.
No question. You see all these clips, Bonte and Zena. We see a lot of points in the paint first, and then the three-point shot opening up later in the game. They're based on out of bounds. The Brooklyn Nets somehow double Draymond, leave Steph open. It's usually the other way around. But that was night-night.
That was
That was
night-night for the road trip, and they'll head back west for 7 monster games. But let's continue to discuss Stephen Curry, because when we look back at these 5 games on his road trip, he was phenomenal. I mean, just a 50-burger in Orlando to set the tone on this road trip. And then tonight he ends the road trip with the 40-burger, Zena. He's playing as well as he has all season. You mentioned it. There was talks of his decline. Maybe he's getting up there. Father Time is undefeated. Well, he's about a week away from his 37th birthday, and he looks like he's playing as if he was 27 years old.
Look, his knees look way better than mine right now. Overall, Stephen Curry, you're seeing him score in so many different ways. Of course, doing the signature shot from the 3, but also getting to the basket, being able to create contact, bouncing off of his defenders, and still being able to get the bank shot. This is why he's adored. This is why he is regaled all around the league. Every arena he walks into, he's going to be treated like a god because he just puts on a show everywhere he goes.
Sounded like Chase Center at times, Willie.
Oh, everywhere Steph goes, especially on the East Coast, because he only goes there once a year, it's Steph Curry's house.
Wow.
And Steph, his awareness on the court is amazing. Mm-hmm. His awareness of what's going around him and what people want and need from him is incredible. That's why he's the global superstar he is. We're lucky to watch him every night. But his efficiency numbers, Bonte, have been off the charts. And to me, I mean, it's not as simple as Jimmy Butler, but to me, having another playmaker. Yep. I go back to watching the clips we just saw. You watched the game. It just feels like, to me, less pressure on Steph to knock a three down late shot clock every possession. The ball's going inside. You've seen his teammates more aggressive, so they're putting pressure on the rim, putting pressure on defense, and then they're finding him. He had 16 and a half. He was playing well. He had that crazy shot at halftime. But he kind of explodes for 22. I don't want to say quietly, but, the ball movement's there. There's a nice balance to his attack. And then extra special, 9 free throws. So, I mean, to get 40 on 20 shots, obviously the efficiency numbers are there. But the way they won the basketball game tonight was the free throw line. Jimmy Butler goes 10 for 10. Mm-hmm. Steph goes 9 for 9. I mentioned earlier, the Nets made 4 more field goals, 3 more threes. But the Warriors make 29 free throws to their 16. That's how they win this ball game.
Before we pick it up with Jimmy Butler, real quick, Zena, his mindset, his answer saying, we're treating each and every game as its own playoff game. So the mindset has flipped for the Golden State Warriors. They're in playoff mode right now.
We've talked about this. It's not about looking down the schedule or the calendar. Don't look behind you as well. You need to take every single game and respect your opponent in front of you, because that's the only way you're going to move up in the standings and be able to place yourself well for the conference, playoffs. So I absolutely respect that. And I'm wondering, actually, Mully, when you were playing, if you think about the position that you were in the conference standings, like how important was it for you to try to get up those standings and also make sure that you're keeping people behind you that are trying to fight to get there?
I think with this team, Zena, it's less a point of emphasis to get home court because of their experience.
Sure.
So to me, it's how they're playing. I think Steph loves the way they're playing right now. He also has a measured approach where let's keep this going. And look what Steph said mid-season heading into the trade deadline. Give me something to be relevant. I'll take care of the rest. That's exactly. And by the way, not only Warrior fans are excited, as you see, fans across the globe are excited. They want to see more Steph Curry. They want to see this Warriors team make a deep run in the playoffs.
And he said they have another level to get to, and I think that level is going to come when Jonathan Kuminga returns to the lineup. But Jimmy Butler right now, he is balling away.